Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new around here, my name is Hannah. I'm an author from the south of England, and this is video number 3 on my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to have a go at doing the Authortube newbie tag. It's been going around for a long old time. I think it was started by Jenna Streety, so I'll link her video in the description below. I believe actually she's done a new version of this. I'll link that as well, but I'm going to do the old one, and then maybe I'll revisit it down the line and do the new one as well. So for those of you who don't know, Authortube is a section of YouTube that is full of creative authors and writers, and they just want to share ideas, and there's loads of amazing content out there. So if you are a writer and you're not into Authortube, definitely check it out. So let's crack on. So the first question is, how did you find out about Authortube? I think I found out about it by accident actually. So I found Jenna Moresi on Twitter, through the writing community on Twitter, and then obviously made my way over to YouTube because Jenna's main platform is YouTube. And then I immediately binge watched all of her videos and then ended up finding other authors. So people like iWriterly and loads of other people. There's just so many awesome authors, easy to check out. The next question is, what genres do you write in? I primarily write thrillers, horror and suspense. Anything really dark, anything that explores the darker side of human nature, I'm definitely there for it. The next question is, what is your preferred writing tense, point of view and category of story? Category of story is definitely adult. I only write for adults. I'm not very good at writing for children. I think even when I was a teenager, I didn't really read YA. I just jumped straight into adults. I think that's why I don't really click with it. I don't think I can write it very well. Preferred writing tense and point of view, I don't think that I really have either of those. I think that all the tenses and points of view lend themselves to certain stories, and it depends what you're writing. So my first novel that I released in July, that is in present tense first person. I was really heavily influenced by Margaret Atwood for that one and her writing style, not so much her genre, but definitely the way she tells stories in that perspective. However, my new whip is actually past tense third. So yeah, it just depends what story you're telling, I think. The next question is, are you a plotter, pantser or plantser? For those of you who aren't writers, it's quite obvious. A plotter is someone who plots a novel, so they'll really heavily plot and plan, and then they'll write off the back of that plot and plan. A pantser is someone that just kind of wings it, comes from the term like the seat of your pants, so you just kind of make it up as you go along. And a plantser is somewhere in between the two. I think I'm probably somewhere between the two. So for number 47, my first book, I knew the beginning, and I knew the end, and I knew my main character, but I had no idea what was going to happen to get me from the beginning to the end. I just let the main character drive it, and it very much organically happened. But my new whip is a lot more heavily planned, mostly through beat sheets and things, so it's still not properly plotted out. I'm not like chapter by chapter, but I know the major things that need to happen, and I've got the ending in my head already. Are you a self-published, published or yet to be published author? I am self-published. I published my book in July. It is on the bookshelf. Here it is. This is number 47, so I published this on July the 28th, I think. Yeah, I wanted to self-publish really because I like the idea of controlling all the elements of the publishing process. I loved coordinating everything myself and hiring people and kind of running it as a mini business. I think I'm a little bit of a control freak, so it definitely played to my strengths. But in the future, I don't really know. Who knows? What publishing company, literary agent and or printing company are you represented by or do you use? If you're not yet published, what is your dream publishing house and or literary agent? That's a long question. Obviously I self-published, so I'm not represented by anyone. But in the future, I don't really know. Don't really know where this next whip is going to take me. Yeah, there's not really a publishing house in particular that I lean towards. I do quite like Faber. They're based in London, and a couple. I know one of the main authors is Kate Hamer. I really like her writing style. Really poetic, quite dreamy, but eerie as well. So maybe someone like Faber. But to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. What Authortube related videos can we expect to find on your channel? So the videos I'm planning on making kind of cross over BookTube and Authortube. So BookTube is essentially Authortube, but for readers rather than writers. I think my channel sits somewhere between the middle of both of those things. So I think the content on my channel will be a mixture. So it's going to be book related, maybe some reviews, upcoming books that I'm excited about, and also strictly writing related. So I'd like to, once I get the ball rolling on my new whip, I'd obviously love to keep you up to date on the process of that, and also maybe go into some of the marketing of self-publishing and the pros and cons. When did you start writing? I started writing when I was in primary school. I'm sure most people say the same thing. When you were a kid, you just kind of make up silly stories, and that's where it all began, really. What was the first story you ever wrote? So the first serious story I ever wrote, the first time I had like a proper crack at it, was in 2015 when I was in my second year of uni. My cousin Sean, who is also an author, pointed me in the direction of Inkit, which is a website that does like short story competitions, and now I think it does full novel competitions too for non-published authors. So the competition I did was all inspired by Terry Pratchett. I love Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman are just amazing. So anything down that kind of road I really enjoy. So I wrote a short sci-fi story called Erewhon, which for old time's sake I will link in the comments. It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty odd. But yeah, that was the first time I ever wrote. And my cousin Sean actually is also an author, so if you're into urban fantasy, definitely check him out. I'll link him below. What authors have inspired your writing the most? Neil Gaiman, Terry Pratchett, but probably not anymore. So I used to love Terry Pratchett growing up. The first thing I wrote was definitely inspired by him, probably his work with Stephen Baxter more than him on his own. But my current stuff, I'd say, is quite heavily influenced by CJ Tudor, really wicked author, and also Kate Hamer. I love her writing style, just the way she uses words. It's just amazing. Do you schedule your writing sessions or simply get to writing whenever you can find the time? Oh, I try to plan, and I always have the best intentions, but it never happens. So I definitely write whenever I can find the time. Do you type on a computer, typewriter, write everything out by hand, or use a blend of those? And where do you write in general? Definitely computer. I think about 10% of what I do is handwritten. So any planning I quite like to be quite visual. So I'll have post-it notes and massive bits of paper. So that would obviously be by hand. And I do like writing in coffee shops. I am definitely the stereotype. I'm living that stereotype. And the last question is, what are you most looking forward to now that you're part of Authortube? I think what I'm most looking forward to is the community aspect. I love the community on Twitter. I'm really excited to be part of the community on YouTube. I think the videos that are out there are amazing. There's so many creative people, and I'm just looking forward to learning and sharing experiences, really. So that was the last question. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any other questions that you'd like me to answer, please put them in the comments. I'd be more than happy to have a chat. And yeah, I do videos every Tuesday, so I'll see you next week with another video. If you like what you've seen today, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, see you later. Bye.